Welcome back to Knights and Ghost Speeders. Today we're going to look at how the game has changed in the last, couple of days with the back channel changes, with the nerfs to the survivors, as well as the buffs to pretty much everything with demons. Where is the soft spot now to feel like you can actually get a game and not just be completely overrun by the power that, basics actually have now, from daisy chaining of possession from one basic to the next, and basically wiping your whole group out before you even get to the first objectives? And where is that soft spot? And I think basically after multiple days of streaming and running some matches, solo, I kind of got to a science now of what we need to know. But before we break that down, if you like this Evil Dead content, please drop a like and a comment on the channel. It really does help the channel. Of course, smash that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell for all Evil Dead and horror related content. If you're looking for people to play with, because let's be honest, right now in particular, surviving is based on surviving in numbers, then join our Discord. The link is right in the description below. You have a lot of people who enjoy playing video games of all horror type, whether it's Evil Dead, Day by Daylight, some of the upcoming horror games, just talking about horror movies and TV shows in general. We have a thriving community. Just hop over and join us. But now we're going to look at what I call the sweet science of Fs at this point. And we're going to have to think about it as this. So basically what's going to happen is now with the nerfs to our friends, the survivors, we have to look at what is the safe spot. Well, when we were basically seeing what Saber has been telling us is that survivors were overpowered and demons were underpowered based on what they did in their back channel changes, which was a lot of nerfs to survivors. And then, of course, the buffs to demons. And now what you have is a problem where if you get caught by the demon early, they're going to run you into the ground. And it's going to be really hard for players playing characters that are lower than 22, 23. You don't have to be fully maxed, but you need to be playing a character at least into the 20s. And that's the problem for new players are really going to experience, especially if you're not playing with people that you can talk to, communicate with, and try to build a strategy around. There is in-game communications, and the game does account for the fact that there isn't this silence bubble like you have with a game like Dead by Daylight, but we know for a fact that there is kind of a soft spot, and that looks like to be about 4 pink Fs. And depending on what characters you're playing, you're going to at least want to put one in health, one in fear, one in stam, depending on what you're playing. I play a lot of Hunter for Ed Getley, but I could be playing Arthur or Henry or Kelly or whomever. And you're definitely going to make sure that you put enough in that your character can do what they're built to do. So, like, for example, if I'm playing Ed, I want to put a point in stam, I want to put a point in fear, a point in health, and then a point in damage. So that way you can kill the stuff, run away from the stuff, and survive the stuff. Like, basically, what is the core components of your character? Take those 4 Fs and put them in. And at that point, when a group has 4 Fs, even if the demon finds them at that point, they stand a chance to take it to endgame. And that's the whole thing. This game doesn't have to be about being pro survivor, it doesn't have to be about pro demon, but it has to be about balance. And that's the part where I feel like Saber's really struggling. And if this point right now on the game that we're playing, in the sandbox we all play in, it seems to be that 4 pink Fs needs to be the minimum that you have to find to have a chance at getting to the end of the game. Whether you win or lose, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter if you come out as a victorious survivor. It doesn't matter if you come out a victorious demon. Those are the components. So if the demon finds you, though, before you got 4 Fs on your character, the odds right now is that it's going to be probably about 85 to 90% victory for the demon before we even get to an objective. That means they're probably going to run you to the ground before you get to the dagger or pages, depending on whichever one you want to go to. Now, that's a little scary, and I don't think that was what was proposed by the changes that were made by Saber, but it definitely is the way it looks now. Now, if you watched any of my streams since the change, I do run strictly with people from my community. I'm not running solo survivor, and we're all on communication through Discord. We're all able to communicate. We're all able to build things up, and we're still winning at around a 74%, 75% rate. So about 3 out of our 4 matches, we're taking a dub home, even as survivors, even after the nerfs, even after the buffs. But in yesterday's stream, we ran a match where we had some lower characters and we just got steamrolled. And that is a problem you're going to see with characters that are starting out. And one of the great things about this game is you can siphon off infernal points and dump them onto side characters. and you're going to need to do that. But what happens to the people that don't have any characters, that are in the 20s, and they're going to really struggle? And that's when you know when buffing's gone too far, when a new account really can't function in the sandbox. And that's a problem. I think the nerfs made a lot of sense, especially AOD. I understand exactly why they lowered Kelly, since they're not fixing her at the moment. You know, I understand a lot of things they did, but I think they went a little too far when they did two things. One was buffing bosses, and two was, the biggest problem was buffing basic units. And we're seeing a lot of that presenting itself early in the match. And like I said, now it's 4Fs is what you need to have a chance. And if they get you before you get to the 4Fs, your chances go way down. And so when you're building your groups, remember, you're going to have to try to be sneaky.
Jeez, I'm crow. How'd you get down here so fast?
Sneaky, sir. Right this way.
Make sure that you are going and looting and looking for chests. And be honest, if the higher the chest you find, the better it's going to be, because you're going to get 1F from standard, you're going to get 2Fs from blues, you're going to get 3Fs from epics, and you're going to get 4Fs from legendary. So if you can find a legendary coming out of the gate, great. You're probably going to have a good chance in this match. But if you're just basically picking away at it at standard chest, you're going to need to find 4 of them. So remember just keep this looting process going all the way through the pages, because that was how this game was designed in the first place, and that's why it's so important now. So there you have it. 4Fs, that is your number. That is what you need to survive. Anything below it, you're in deep shit. Above it, well, great. You're just loading up your character. As always, thanks for watching, and later, mates.